Hello, everyone. It's Orsi Parkanyi from Oslo Blockchain Cluster. Thank you for being here with us again. This is our second video with Stephan Nilsson, CEO of UNISOT. Welcome, Stephan. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be back.
So Stephan has 30 years of experience in this space, in the blockchain technology and ERP supply chain integrations. And today we'd like to talk about how vulnerable supply chains are to the current pandemic we are facing. So very exciting. So let's hear some of the challenges that this industry is facing right now.
Yeah. So the problem we have with supply chain is not only now in pandemics, but all the time. But of course, it's now enforced or getting bigger with the pandemic. So when we talk about supply chain, we think about one chain of a couple of companies working together, but that's not really true. So how a supply chain is working today is more like a whole network of different companies working together in a whole network, in a dynamic network that is changing all the time. And when you get situations like a pandemic, a lot of these connections between the companies are failing and messing up the whole network, how it is working.
Mm-hmm. So I see a banner behind you. It's a seafood chain. So how about we bring that up as an example so I can also understand how the supply chain is affected. So I'm guessing that in a sense of a seafood chain, if I'm a business who are selling fish to restaurants or supermarkets, I probably need to buy that fish first. I need to grow that fish, so that needs a lot of food. It might need some antibiotics or some other things that I need to buy from other suppliers, and then at the end I'm going to transport that fish to the place I'm selling it to. So are these some of the key players of the supply chain, of the seafood chain, or am I totally off?
No, you are completely right. So let's say that you are a fish farmer.
Yes.
So you are you are doing the job of farming fish from they are small until they are big enough to sell and to your customers. So you have to buy, as you said, you have to buy food, you have to buy equipment, you need people doing that, and all the things that you need to put together. You have to buy the fish or the fish eggs from someone.
Yes.
So often that is a separate company from the grower itself. Sometimes it's the same, but most of the time it's one company growing fish eggs, one company growing up the fish. And now if you are growing fish, you need to buy all of these things. You have to run your company. And then you have to make sure that you can sell your product to a retailer, for example. And
Yes.
so that's a very
it's a simplified
of a supply chain, or part that's even just a part of the supply chain, just the first part of it, and then we have the whole part afterwards, all the way back to the consumer and recycling after that. But we can take that later on.
We can just simplify this process for now, just
Yeah.
for us to understand how this is affected. So this industry is very important in Norway, where we are. So when a pandemic situation occurs, how exactly this chain is affected by that?
Yeah, it can be affected in many different ways. One of the problem directly sensitive to the pandemics is, of course, people. And a lot of the supply chain today, and specifically in seafood in Norway, is that there is a lot of people involved in the processes. They are not very digitized at the moment. There is a lot of different computer systems and a lot of manual work on registering temperatures on paper, putting it in the computers, also exchanging information to other companies are done via email, or sometimes if it's even advanced, they do it via sharing a Google Doc between each other, or Excel Excel sheets with each other. So it,
Hmm.
it could be much, much better. But the problem is that when you have all of these manual actions, you get very hardly affected when there is a pandemic, when people are getting sick, or people are not allowed to work on this, uh, to do this. Then your business will stop or be impaired in a hard way.
Mm. So I'm assuming that just staying with this example of a fish farmer, um, I've been selling to restaurants, possibly, and
Hmm.
other businesses like small bars and pubs. So that's completely changed because all the restaurants in Norway are currently closed. But on
Exactly.
the other side, I may have sold to supermarkets like Kiwi or other supermarket chains where the demand may have risen.
Yeah,
Everyone's at home, sick of chicken, wanting to cook fish.
exactly. That's exactly what we have seen. That the whole hotel and restaurant industry has closed down more or less because it's a people industry and people had to stay
Mm,
home. They're not eating on restaurants. So that side of the market, if you now if you are a fish seller, a fish producer, you see that suddenly half of your market or big part of your market is just disappearing. But luckily, we have the other side of the market. You have the whole retail market, as I said. So people are now, instead of going to a restaurant, they have to make their food at home. So they have to buy food directly from the retailers. So that market goes up, and luckily the retail industry is it's a little bit better digitalized and more. They have a better network of information network
mm,
and
mm,
not so many manual actions there, and they're also considered essential businesses. So transports and logistics are essential businesses, so they are allowed to work while
mhm,
while people in the hotel industry are not allowed to work. So yeah, so there we can see the shift. This is
mhm,
what the
mhm.
pandemic is doing.
Yeah.
It's shifting the requirements for food.
And possibly changing the entire business models for several of the businesses right now.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
on one hand, my buyers changed, but on
Hmm.
the other hand, I also have people and businesses I'm buying from, the fish and the food. So maybe some of them just went bankrupt in this pandemic because they they were under in lockdown and couldn't transport their goods.
Hmm.
So that
Hmm.
can also happen. That's also a real situation in a pandemic. So, what are the issues there, and how can that be resolved by blockchain technology? How can it be helpful in a situation like that?
Yeah, I think we see a lot of positive things coming out of this situation, the pandemic situation as well. Just like all of us has to be work from home, we have to start learning how to use video conferences and stuff like this, and that is going to help companies to evolve into a more digitalized world, and they will learn the hard way now that they have to digitalize, they have to use technology better. And this is where blockchain is coming in as a very, very good solution on all of these problems, because it's a distributed network of computer that is very, very secure, and not one company is handling that or owning that. And that is very, very important. It's just like internet was actually developed by the army to have a bomb-proof network.
True
Blockchain
story.
is on top of that, and even more secure and even more distributed than internet is. And on top of that, we have the economical functionality in this network. But now I'm getting down into the technical stuff again.
So hopefully we're going to see a lot of positive changes and improvements in this space over the next couple of weeks and months, and we're going to have other episodes where we can discuss this. Thank you so much, Stefan. Is there anything else that you wanted to add that would help us understand how vulnerable these supply chains are to the current pandemic?
Yeah, I would like to add as we have seen, some of our customers already now are taking advantage of this situation, that because they are selling less, perhaps they can now focus on how to digitalize their business
Mm.
and how they can be better when the pandemic goes away. And also we see a bigger interest in global traceability, that customers actually want to know where their products are coming from and how it has been treated, but also that it hasn't been sent to far away and back again to be treated for something.
Mhm.
And so this is areas where we can use blockchain technology, and where we can do it right now in this situation where we have a little bit time over to reflect on this.
So more digitalization coming next, I assume, for a lot of the businesses. Thank you so much,
Absolutely.
Stefan, for being here with us and sharing your knowledge and this example and discussing this topic with me of supply chain integrations and also blockchain technology, how it can be leveraged at this time.
Sure. Yeah, it's always a pleasure. I love talking about these things. So it's
Thank you
my
so much. And thank you guys for listening. If there's any topic you want us to explore, please comment below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Oslo Blockchain Cluster. See you with new episodes shortly. And take care.
see you.
Bye.
Bye bye.